What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and this is your daily news video. Loads of news, tons of the news. Oh, it's a joke, Eddie. Like, I can't believe how quiet it is when teams need new managers. Like, let's put this in perspective. And I'm not just talking about Everton here. I'm talking about Tottenham, Wolves, Palace and Everton. It's all silent. You know, every single one of these football teams needs a manager and it's silent. However, it come out over the last 24 hours that Duncan Ferguson turned down the opportunity to join Carlo Ancelotti in Madrid. Now, you can see this two ways. One, you can obviously say it's fantastic. He clearly loves Everton Football Club. And his comments were that apparently that he wants a shot at the manager's job. Fair enough. We'll get into that in a minute. But you can also look at it on the flip side, that he's not been given the chance to be manager yet. So why does he think that's going to change? And why does he think it's best staying at Manchester United? Because his managerial career, certainly having Real Madrid on your CV, I must say that would look fantastic. However, I'm very much the other side of that. I'm very happy that Duncan Ferguson has turned that down, because it is a big opportunity for Duncan. You know, if he went in as the assistant manager at Real Madrid, that would be huge. You know, this is something that I think Neil Clement did with Ancelotti, I think it was. You know, I think he was also the number 2 at Bayern Munich. So Carlo Ancelotti's used to sort of these young English, you know, type people around the team, around the players. Sort of not necessarily a massive name in football, but at least respectful as a coach. And Duncan sort of pied all that, and he said, nah, I'm staying out. I want to be manager of Everton Football Club. And you can only admire him for that. Like, there is, in my opinion, there is no negative to that. There's no negative to that whatsoever, because he's basically stood up when we've needed people to want to be leaders, and he's gone, I want to be the man that takes Everton forward. And I can't slag him off for that. You know, whether you want him to be manager or not, I can't slag him off for that, because he's been prepared to put his balls on the line and say, right, give me the job, let's see how we get on. And I respect him for that. Do I want him to be manager? No, not yet. I 100% want Duncan to be manager of Everton Football Club at some point, but not yet. I want him to learn properly. I want him to study properly. And I made some comments the other day which are clearly wrong. Whereas I said that Carlo Ancelotti didn't really seem to give a toss what Duncan was saying, didn't really give him any input. You know, every time I saw Duncan and Carlo Ancelotti, there was very different sort of interactions. You know, I felt like Duncan would talk to Carlo, but Carlo would listen barely, if you get what I mean. He just wouldn't go in. That's how I felt. That's how I sort of looked at the body language and everything. You know, Chelsea, Spurs in the, was it the FA Cup? Or the Carabao Cup, in the Cup this season, you know, where we score and Carlo Ancelotti's reaction is calm, whereas Duncan's absolutely losing his fruit and barley. Again, you can see that two ways, but for me, I saw it very much of this man lives and breathes Everton and this man doesn't. Whereas you could say this man is a wise head and understands football can change in 10 seconds, and this man's just lost his fruit and barley. You can get it. For me, I'm just glad that Duncan is prepared to stay at Everton, and I think no matter what manager comes in, I think it's really important that Duncan Ferguson is part of that team, because I want him to understand that in 3 years' time, when the next manager leaves after his 3-year deal, or 5 years' time, or a year and a half, whatever, then I want Duncan to be able to be in a position where we can say, I trust this guy. You know, people have said, you know, he managed 3 games, Mike, and he only got You know, he got 1 win and 2 draws. Let's remember who we played. We went away at Manchester United and led for 78 minutes. We played Arsenal at Goodison, which was poor. Yes, was poor game. And we beat Chelsea 3-1. Any manager under any circumstances, usually, maybe not necessarily Arsenal now, but Chelsea and Man United, they were decent results. The only reason I am against Duncan being manager is because I just don't think he's quite there in terms of experience yet. But I could be wrong. You know, Duncan Ferguson could be a phenomenal appointment. He could get the players playing for the shirt. He could explain to them what it means. But they also might not care because he's got no respect, if you get what I'm saying. Like, Ancelotti, no matter what football player come into this team, whether young, old, experienced, inexperienced, they would listen to every single word Ancelotti would say. I don't think they'll do that with Ferguson because he hasn't got the same pedigree. And I'm not even saying that he can't get that pedigree. I'm just saying right now he hasn't got it. And when Everton needs such a massive rebuilding project, I don't necessarily think that's the right way to go. But, look, if Duncan Ferguson got offered the manager's job, I will get 100% behind him. 100%. I'd be there. I'll support that man to war and back. Like, I will back him. But I just don't think it's the right move. But then I literally can have the same argument for pretty much any manager in this conversation. Like Nuno, he completely fell apart this season. It went stale. Wolves fans call his football Nuno ball because it was shit. Do we want that again? You've got Eddie Howe, who's been massively linked. No one wants Eddie Howe. I've not seen a single Everton fan that wants Eddie Howe. So that speaks for itself. Then there's people who want David Moyes in. I'm not necessarily against David Moyes. You know, as a 29-year-old man, the best football I've witnessed was either under Martinez or David Moyes. I can't slag off David Moyes. The way he left was shit. The bids he put in was shit. It was a disgrace. 100%. And trust me, I made it very known at the time from the stands, as did loads of people, what we thought of him. You know, his comments that were a disgrace, etc. But as a footballing man, as a manager, I've got nothing against David Moyes. But I don't think you should go backwards. So again, it's a no from me there. So this is the difficulty with these names we're being linked with. You know, Sarri, apparently we're not informing. Rafa Benitez is in Liverpool, yet apparently Everton haven't made contact with him. Oh, that seems unusual to me. I really don't know who the next Everton manager is. You know, like most content creators, I'm sure we all get DMs from people saying, "Oh, Mike, do you have any news? Do you have any inside gossip?" I've been told various things by various people, and they're all clearly unreliable. So I don't know names to pitch to you. You know, apparently Rafa Benitez was in Liverpool because he wants talks with Everton. I don't know if that's true. You know, apparently Eddie Howe is a front runner for the job because they believe that he'll buy into a project. I don't believe that. You know, Duncan Ferguson, the reason he didn't go to Madrid is because he's going to be offered the manager's job. I don't know that. So for me, I think it's a very difficult argument right now to know. But as soon as we do know, we will be showing it live on the Blue Boys Network, of course. Anyway, let's move on to other news. And the other person in this thumbnail is Moise Kean. Moise Kean, apparently PSG have approached Everton about taking him on loan again. Now, again, let's put this in perspective, right? Moise Kean cost us £30 million. And on paper, it looks a good deal. Irrespective of him playing for Everton or not, it looks a good deal because it looks like we're going to get more money for him than we paid. And I'm assuming we're getting loan fees, and we got a loan fee last season for him signing for PSG. Now, he scored 16 goals for PSG last season. If he's going to go back on loan, which I disagree with, I'd rather we sell him. But if he's going to go back on loan, I want at least a £10 million fee. At least. Because I want us to be making our money back. If he's not going to play for Everton Football Club, let's make our money back. You know, if we got £5 million last season, he scored 16 goals, we want 10 million this time, or you can sign him for 50. That's your options. I just think Everton needs to be a bit more ruthless. This is a kid that's still, I think, 21 years old. I just think we've got time on our side. His contract, I think he's got a 5-year deal. And obviously he signed it 2 years ago. I really do think we could get 50 million. It's just up to Everton how they want to play that. You know, Juve might want to might want to come in. So if PSG won't sign him, maybe they will sign him. Who knows? I don't know. I know they've got footballing financial issues, but you don't know. So for me, with Moise Kean, it's a difficult one. I would actually have had no problem seeing Moise Kean playing the blue shirt this season. Certainly in the games where Dominic Calvert-Lewin wasn't at his best. And I think we lacked a little bit of a cutting edge, a little bit of a unique style of football, strong, physical, ability to beat people. You know, Moise Kean can skin people. Like, he's got real ability to just beat a man. And I like that. Whereas I don't think Calvert-Lewin has got that. I think he's got the ability, the aerial ability to score a goal. So I had no problem with Moise Kean staying at Everton, but he didn't. He didn't. And if he now wants to leave on a permanent, I really think Everton should either make it as difficult as possible or make it as expensive as possible, because we need to be generating as much money as we can. Other rumours today are coming out that Nuno is apparently interviewed really, really well. However, Everton are really concerned by the size of his backroom staff. Now, I'm going to put something in perspective here. I don't think Nuno Espirito Santos will be on £13 million a year, which is roughly what Carlo Ancelotti was on. It won't happen like that. Now, if he was on so much money, surely the money's there to pay for his backroom staff. So this is what I mean. The papers do not know their arse from their elbows. Like, they haven't got a clue. And I sit here watching it, responding to it, and just thinking, no, none of you know. Until Fabrizio Romano comes out and tells me what's going on, I believe no one. I believe no one. Because that man knows. That man knows. He knows. He's got so many fingers in so many pies. It's outrageous. Whereas I don't trust half the journos in England. I don't trust them. I don't trust any of the in-the-know accounts. You know, and there'll be people saying, well, Mike, you used to be an in-the-know account. You know, you used to tell us things, and some of it come true, some of it didn't. Yeah, because I knew someone at the club at the time. That person no longer works there. That person left 4 years ago. So I know fuck all now. If you really look at Everton Football Club right now, no information's coming out. The transfer rumours we're hearing are all over the place. You know, we've gone from being linked with players like, look, I said it the other day, we will go from being linked with players like Bale and Ramsey and Rabiot and all of these sort of bigger name players to being linked with Chris Wood. That's simply because Carlo's left. It's easy journalism. It's complete bollocks. So I just sort of, I want us to appoint a manager and I want us to get stuck in. Because when you look at clubs like Villa, at this moment in time, Villa are going to finish above us. And they're not just going to finish above us. They're going to smash us. You know, Buendia coming in alongside Grealish, McGinn, Douglas Luiz, El Ghazi, Watkins up front scoring goals. I'm sorry, that's better than us. That's better than us. So I think we need a manager ASAP, and we need to start signing some players ASAP. Otherwise, we're going to be left in the distance, and my Premier League predictions will be horrendous. So Me and John were joking today. You know, we finished 10th. Villa finished behind us. Villa could easily go above us based on current. Now, where would Everton finish right now? It's not looking good. So, guys, I'm leaving it there anyway. Thank you ever so much for watching. Your support over the last few days has been absolutely fucking mad. So, yeah, cheers for that. Love you to pieces. And up the fucking toffees, eh?